Being a dentist and human is not easy. I should know, I am one. Doing full contact arts and crafts on our patients that do not want to be there can be very stressful. We've created Talking Nachos to share tips, share strategies, share our awesome sponsors that will help you increase success, decrease stress, and most of all, reduce the number of times you feel like crying inside a day. The number one KPI in every dentist's life. We also have some really cool things going on at Dental Nachos. We have an in-person CE event this fall, the Patient-Centered Care and Profitability Conference. If you would like to get tickets to that conference, Friday, September 30th to Saturday, October 1st, text Travis to 215-543-6454. This is going to be an amazing group of people that are going to help you increase your morale, help you learn how to make more money, help you learn how to help more patients, how to figure out if fee-for-service is right for you, how to get into network with plans that make sense, maybe get out of network with plans that don't make sense, as well as how to talk to patients. It's for dentists, dental students, associates, teams, and anyone who likes hanging around with dentists. So I'm ready for my first guest, and my team is ready to bring them onto our stage. I have the awesome Mary Fisher-Day, one of my favorite names. My awesome wife's name is Mary, and Mary helps dentists make huge life decisions, huge career decisions. She's been on this show before, but just orient our audience, Mary. When you get up every day and make your first cup of coffee, first cup of tea, whatever you have, what do you do to start helping dentists survive, thrive, and not cry?
I'm certainly a coffee girl, by the way. Yeah. So I help dentists transition into or out of practice ownership, and I'm very passionate about that. One thing I wanted to talk about today that I didn't get to prep you for, Paul, is a situation I'm dealing with now with a client, and he's buying a practice, and we keep having the closing pushback. And one of the reasons, well, there's two reasons. One of them is he didn't have disability insurance. I know we've talked about that a little bit online. And he has to have it to close unless you get a special permission. So note to everyone, get your disability insurance as soon as possible. And we've got a great resource here on Nachos.
Awesome.
With Jim. And then second thing is people don't look at the collections. I mean, the credits and the collection percentage, the credits and the AR. So we're having a little problem with the AR.
Tell us, I love these. So first of all, really good advice, Mary. Get disability insurance as early as possible. There are some heartbreaking stories out there of dentists who can never practice again. And if that happens to you, make sure you're taken care of financially. In this scenario, with a practice transition, this dentist is ready to take over and work, but they must show disability insurance. And I'm sure that dentists wish they had got it earlier. Great tip.
They really did wish they'd gotten it, especially before they fell and hurt their elbow.
Right, things out. So now let's talk about AR. You're going to buy a practice, let's say for $1 million, and the practice has $100,000 of accounts receivable. $100,000 outstanding. What is the deal with AR? What's happening here? Share with our audience some value about how this works in transitions.
All right. First of all, when there's two different ways to handle AR typically when you close on a practice, as you know, Paul. One is you buy the AR.
Yeah. Oh, I lost Mary?
Yeah.
Oh, you're back. Sorry, you're back. Yeah, sorry.
All right. So you collect it for the seller or you buy it. I prefer, after many years of doing this, that if possible, my purchasers buy it.
Yeah.
Because the biggest arguments I've seen between buyers and purchasers that ruin the goodwill, by the way, after the practice sale is complete, is about the buyer's staff collecting the seller's old AR. So just try to buy it if you can. You don't buy it for cash at all. You buy it on percentages based on how old it is. But here's the situation where I've noticed more and more that people aren't looking at credits on accounts. It's not being taken into consideration. Do you know if you buy that practice and the credits aren't dealt with, those are your credits now that you have to pay?
I totally see how this could be a problem because this happens in every practice, no matter how meticulous you are. Some random person has an $800 credit for some reason, and now they're going to want to use it, but it wasn't. Now you have to honor, is that's what's happening, and you don't want to honor it because it's from the previous seller.
No, you talk about the negotiations we've gone back and forth on here with this particular, it's $20-something thousand in credits.
This is just an honest question because we're on live Nacho TV. Why doesn't the seller just pay the people of the credit and just be done with it?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
That's not how he wants to handle it, or that's not how his advisors want him to handle it either. So let's be honest. I'm going to be very clear here. This seller never cleared anything in AR. He never wrote anything off. His AR total is over $300,000
That's
because I mean, think about it. He's been in practice for 40 something years, you
yeah.
know? Of course, if you've never written anything off, but again, I have to give these sellers due. They don't know what they don't know, and their team doesn't know what they don't know. So, but there are $20,000 in credit, and there are state laws saying that this has to be
Well,
handled.
I hope when you're on Talking Nachos next month, this has been cleared up and they've closed. But what you've brought to the attention here is very frustrating when closing dates get pushed back. I've dealt with that as a broker. I've dealt with it as a buyer. There's a lot of emotion around it. It creates all kinds of challenges. Your family's asking, your friends asking you. So I really appreciate. Sounds like you got two issues here. One that the buyer created without disability insurance, and then one that the seller created. Share with us as we wrap up, Mary, what do you do? You're involved with this deal. And people may not know, how are you involved? You're a consultant. Who's paying you? Tell us a little bit about the details of how your services work.
In this particular instance, I'm a buyer's advocate, buyer's representative. I have his back through the whole thing. I started before he even made the offer. I helped him with negotiating the offer. We saved a good bit of money on that offer, and I'm just helping him through the whole deal, all the points that come up. And where credits are concerned, if they're not settled at closing, the seller should write the buyer a check.
Right. I want to share, I'm going to wrap up, and people can text Mary to 215-543-6454 to get help from you. You're an amazing person, amazing sponsor.
Thank you.
So in this credit thing, if I have credits on my account and as a dentist, and I'm going to work for 10 more years, well, maybe I can provide services that the patient will use for those credits. But if I'm retiring, it's a 50 of one, 6 of one, half dozen of another. It's still the same money. So they're probably just causing challenges when it really mathematically would be the same. So I feel for you, and that's why they're lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you guys.
Awesome,
Thanks
Mary. I hope you come to see us in the fall. Put us on your schedule. Profitability conference. Come hang out in Philadelphia. Get a cheesesteak. Wear a Sixers jersey with Brandon. All of that.
All right. Sounds like fun.
Thank you. So as you can see on Talking Nachos here, these huge life decisions, these career decisions that you make, buying a practice, selling a practice, get help from the right people.